just want to say my mom is here from Chicago today in the audience, and I just want to say thank you because this story is just one of the, just the tip of the iceberg and stuff she's done and taught me. So thank you. Well, my son is definitely going to learn to fight, mostly from his father. Oh, let that man tell it. He's got ninja on his grandmother's side, his daddy part Zulu, and he was a Boy Scout. So I have no doubt my boy will learn to wreck shop. But I still want to teach him the way I was taught by my mommy. My mother's mothering is spectacular. She was 15 when I was born. She was a straight A student before and after. And she had these really radical parenting ideas. Like, I wasn't allowed to say, I don't know. I had to stand in the middle of the floor until I had an answer, a real answer. I asked her as an adult if that was her plan to teach me what consequences were. And she said, nope, it just bugged me that you were performing these elaborate feats of math and science, but couldn't tell me why you didn't do the dishes and I asked you to. I needed to understand your thought processes. Eventually, you were going to ask to borrow my car. If you came back without it, I don't know, it was not going to be an acceptable answer. That is really what she said. She put me through Northwestern, and she graduated from there 10 years after. Like I said, my mother's mothering is spectacular. One day, in about 6th grade or so, I was sitting on the floor in my room reading a book. My mom walked in. I moved in with her when I was 12, and I found her a bit eccentric. She ate crazy stuff like tofu, and she read about transcendental meditation. She played racquetball. Weird. My mother came in and she said, it has just occurred to me that you don't know how to fight. And I said, that's okay. Because I really don't bother anybody. She said, oh, that's cute, stand up. And she shoved me really hard. There are people in this world that want to hurt you. Is this what I'm doing? I'd never been in a fight, and I was raised without my brothers and sisters, so nobody had ever tried to shove me through the drywall before. And my mom said, if you get into a confrontation and you know there's no turning back, you have to get your mind right. You act crazy enough, you won't have a fight for the rest of your school year. Okay, now, you know how people say, step across this line? And I said, yes. And she said, step across the line and punch him in the face. She said, knock that, you know that knock the stick off my shoulder stuff? I said, yes. She said, ignore the stick, punch him in the face. Did she learn this in the health food store? And don't do the, you tap me, then I tap you back, then you tap me a little harder, then I shove you a little bit. When you know there's no turning back, you're in a fight, they tap you, you punch them in the face. And keep punching. She said, after you punch somebody, that does not mean it's their turn to hit you like in the movie. The object of the fight is not to get hit at all, ever. That was really news to me because I thought that was how fighting went. And she said another thing, everything, fair play, throw your books, pick up a chair, knock them off balance, stomp their toes, stick your fingers in their eyes. She was so messing with my mind. And she said, now here's the key part. eyeing the copy of The Hobbit I had clutched in my hand. I know that you don't start fights, so please don't get beat up thinking about what I'm gonna say and how you're gonna get in trouble for fighting. They don't suspend on a curve, just end the fight. Here's where I should mention that my grandmother was totally a turn-the-other-cheek kind of lady. That's some kind of duality in messaging, but it made me the woman I am today, really hard to provoke, but a totally dirty fighter. So as for my son, he seems like he's gonna be a big dude. He's got an awesome testosterone support group around him. And chances are good he'll be able to break fools off something proper. But he's gotta know he's got many tools to use before he resorts to that. He has to know when to laugh instead of punch, know when to talk shit instead of punch. And sometimes there's honor in just walking away, especially when everyone knows you win anyway. But I'm gonna tell him like it was told to me. If there's no getting out of it, put down that copy of the Fountainhead, punch him in the face.